Hello, and welcome to the Disability Law Lowdown's first ever ASL podcast. My name is Danny Worthling. We're so glad that you found us, and we hope that you enjoy this series of ASL podcasts. This episode is an introduction and overview of the podcast. But if you don't know what a podcast is, I will explain a little bit. A podcast is like an internet radio show, but it's not like traditional radio shows where you had to be near a radio at the time of the broadcast. And once the show was over, you couldn't listen to it again. With podcasts, you can be off doing other things while it records. Then, come back and listen or watch the podcast later. You can stop, start, and repeat the recording at your convenience. Originally, podcasts were MP3 audio files. And they may be listened to from the podcast website, burned to a CD, downloaded to a computer, or transferred to an MP3 player, like an iPod. To make the Disability Law Lowdown podcast accessible, we first thought to simply caption the podcasts. But there are problems with that idea. Podcasts are a mostly audio experience. Many times, there is no viewing screen at all. When there is a screen, as on a video iPod, the font size for captioning is so small that it is difficult to see. So, for all of our podcasts, we make transcripts available on the website at the same time the audio is available. ASL podcasts will work, of course, only when there is a screen, such as when people watch it on the computer or on a video MP3 player. We are very excited to offer the first ASL podcasts on disability law topics. As I said earlier, this is a preview podcast. In about 2 weeks, our first real show will be available. That first ASL podcast show will offer an overview of the Americans with Disabilities Act and will serve as a framework for future podcasts that you can refer back to as needed. Future topics will include how to request an interpreter, who must provide an interpreter, your rights when you're stopped for a traffic violation, and reasonable accommodations in employment. For now, those ASL podcasts are in the future. You can subscribe to the ASL podcast by going to asl.disabilitylawlowdown.com. If you want to call us, call 1-800-949-4232. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed watching this ASL video podcast. You can subscribe to the podcast so you never miss an episode. You can subscribe for free through iTunes or by going to asl.disabilitylawlowdown.com. The Disability Law Lowdown is sponsored by a network of 10 ADA centers around the country. The ADA centers provide training and technical assistance on the Americans with Disabilities Act and other disability-related laws. You can call us at 1-800-949-4232. The ADA centers are supported by NIDR.